Hello, everybody. How are you?
Hello, friends. Actually, one second.
We're in the same place. We're in the same place. And due to technical difficulties, we are not in the same room. So there you go. Uh, shh, it's never, don't blame yourself. Anyways, hello, everyone. It is time for the Thursday temperature check with proposal industry experts. I am in snowy New Mexico, not the usual adjective that I would add like descriptor to New Mexico. But that's what we've got. It's gorgeous outside. For a BC Kai, this is a delightful amount of snow. What is it for a New Mexico person, Rochelle? Is this a delightful level or?
Yeah, this is a beautiful level. We normally get like a little teeny tiny unmeasurable dusting. So
Yeah,
having like an actual quarter to an inch in the metro is awesome.
fair enough. Fair enough. So
It's
yeah, this
unusual.
it's unusual. It is. The power is out. This morning I woke up in my place that I have while I'm down here, and yeah, the power was out. And when I asked various people when they thought that power might be restored, they were like, "This is an unusual circumstance for this power company. We do not know when they're going to bring the power back." So yeah. But we're here for our annual planning session. So this is something we get together and we talk through things about what we would like to deliver to the community and stuff like that. And we sort of decide to have it at the end of the year. Sometimes we have done it at the beginning of the year, but yeah, but we're going to meet with the Baker's Dozen tomorrow, and it's going to be exciting to go through things with them. But yeah, it's the end of the year, and I don't know how it is in AEC, but in my neck of the woods, in the commercial space, we have a lot of companies who have probably been like stalling on major projects, or we have P3 organizations who are like, well, if they need to use up their public budget, they have to get something on the books like right now. And so usually the volume of bids goes quite high. And then with like family commitments and just kind of like the loss of sun, um, yeah, you start to get a little bit of the blues or the downies or the stress outs or the burnouts. Do we have terms for these, Rochelle? Like,
I mean, all of those are accurate terms in discussions of burnout, blues, and stress and overwhelm.
yeah,
Absolutely. Also, personal stress, holiday stress, family stress, all those are burnouts. You can say family burnout, you can say holiday burnout. Those are different types of, it's not just work related.
yeah. Yeah, and we all kind of have different ways of dealing with that. Hopefully, if you've been a proposal manager for a while or a bid manager for a while, that you have some fun ways. I'm just noticing that I am pretty sure this container of Oreos was full yesterday. Uh, so we all have our ways. And honestly, this year, because it comes on the heels of an American election, for those of us in North America, and maybe the world, depending on how your government interacts with the U.S., it's possible that this election was a little bit more stress for you. Between the barrage of information and the selection of the individuals and this kind of, I was listening to a podcast that said like once again, this is the most important election. So yeah, just a lot of stuff. So uh, I just want to reiterate. We put a post up yesterday, kind of reiterating the idea that Pi is a safe space. So obviously, we welcome all sorts of political views inside our organization in regards to procurement, and we also want to recognize that like there are probably some people out there in our community who are feeling quite vulnerable in the real world right now, and possibly even in various areas of the online world. And we want to reiterate that in Pi, we will make sure that you're safe. Um, if there's something that comes up, if there's something that occurs, we will take action. So yeah, if you need us to create like a hidden space inside of our organization right now where you can feel safe to talk about stuff, like just let us know. either message us in the community or reach out to Rochelle or myself. Um, our emails are not ridiculous to find out. I think they're in the community somewhere, but like, yeah, just reach out to us and we can create that for you. But anyways, yeah, it's tough. Um, Stephen Alvarez, again, I constantly mention this guy because phenomenal human being. When he has always told me like, hey, give yourself some grace, and like that is a great comment to make right now, because it's Q4 for a lot of businesses as a proposal manager. Like it is just good for that. Um, and when we talked about the November 5th election, he said like honestly, there's a lot of raw emotion, and we should be kind of maybe communicating to people that like it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It is it is okay to have emotions, and it is probably a good idea to like just realize, like, give yourself a moment, take a deep breath, exhale. Like life life continues, and yeah, and you need to show up for it. So anyways, shout out to Stephen. But it's good advice for anyone in the community. If you're having stuff right now, this is a good moment to like take a beat and give yourself a little grace. Maybe a large amount of grace, or maybe an entire cookie package of grace. um, no judgment. No judgment. As Rochelle has told me, these offsites are calorie free. I'm
Vacations and retreats, calories don't count. This is the rule. I don't understand why you don't accept this rule, Ben.
super excited about it, from from a belief standpoint. Uh, I'm just not 100% sure that my metabolism believes it yet. So
The green chili also accelerates your metabolism, so
I listen, I want to tell you, if you sign up for like a Biggers Pro membership, like this is my pitch. Like I will tell you about all the wonderful things that Rochelle has taught me about New Mexico and American home ownership and American dog ownership. Like there's just a delightful number of like tidbits that I can give you. I will like do a whole video series on it. Because but right now I have been introduced to this whole idea that there is some sort of like red chili, green chili, or Christmas. Like you have to choose a side in New Mexico. And so far, I hate to say it, I am sort of leaning green for all you red chili fanatics out there. Um, Someone explained to me how a chili gets cooked, because I indicated that I was Canadian, and that appears to be a piece of information that people need to deliver to me. So it's been great. It's been great here in New Mexico. Um, yeah, Rochelle was very proud of that person.
I was. We don't
Yeah,
often have to explain chili, and just watching this woman explain the chili process and what makes Hatch chili so special because it's different. Like chili is a big deal in New Mexico. It's like a cultural thing. It was really she did such a good job explaining it to Ben, way better than I could have. I was just like green, red, or Christmas. Choose.
I'm I'm trying to think. I don't think I've had a meal yet that hasn't had chili in it. Yeah, yeah. So far, not a single meal. This is the closest I've gotten to a non-chili meal so far. Is the Oreo cookie. Oreo, step up your game in New Mexico. Anyways, all right. So listen, though, we should. With all that said, let us know if you need if you need a safer safe space inside of Pi, and we will create that for you. In the meantime, we are down here for our annual planning, and honestly, I love this session. It is a chance to like listen to each other and kind of try to take a beat on listening to the community, what we've gathered so far, what we've learned this year, and kind of try to figure out where we go as a community from here. And one of the things that we realized is we should probably be talking to you a lot more. But we tried our surveys a little bit this year, and it was great when everyone was responding. We got honestly a lot of good information about it, but I think we want to get even deeper into it. So we've got some ideas for different types of outreach and everything like that to get more info from you, because we want to be like we want to serve you ultimately. Like we want to be of service to you. We want to think about like what is the tactical information that you need to propel yourself forward in your career, to survive your career, to thrive in your career, right? Like we want to get you from just like punching out templated bids to like feeling like you're like a necessary cog in a machine, or that you are a superstar in what you do. So yeah. Anyways, we've got some interesting stuff in that area. Um, what else do we have? Sorry.
You're doing great, Ben. You're doing great. Yeah, we want to be everything you want us to be, if that makes sense. Like, we want to be the community that you shape for you. So we
Mm,
want to know what you need that to look like, what you want that to look like, what you want to learn, how you want to connect, how you want to communicate. So we're going to be reaching out, like Ben said, in several different ways to reach you, to let you reach us. Again, I don't know if you know this, everyone, but Ben and I are very accessible and very open. You just gotta send us a message, and we would love to hear from you. But we're going to provide more structured forums for you to provide that feedback, so that we can then deliver on initiatives that are going to help you.
hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, definitely. The great thing again, not to toot Rochelle's horn too much. Rochelle is a phenomenal human, but I love like this time because normally Rochelle and I communicate almost entirely through Zoom, and it is so much more fun to watch her cogitate in person, because the body moves. You can like be like, hey, you shrugged your shoulders there. What does that mean? And then suddenly, like, all this brilliance comes out. So, anyways, I think it's really great. It's helped me a lot think about how we're going to focus on the community next year. So we do have a lot of plans for education. Of course, RFWIN 2025. We're going to start it a lot earlier this year, so we'll be on the lookout for that. And when I say we're going to start it earlier, it's still going to be held right around August. We're slowly building the calendar, but we are going to start the process a lot earlier and stuff like that. So hopefully get you excited about that, and hopefully get you involved in actually designing the session, so that when we go out to seek speakers and everything like that, that we're finding the right experts for you, and your career where it's at right now and everything. So bunch of fun ideas around that. And then also I think we've hinted like several times that we're testing a new platform for the purposes of education. And we're running, if you're in our novel contest, you're actually getting a sneak peek of it as well right now. Um, it's too late for them to join the novels, isn't it?
You can absolutely join the novel writing challenge at any time. We've had people joining every day since we started it, or since we opened it a week ago. We're
Yeah.
only on day 7. You still have 23 more days to write a novel, or finish your creative work, or make progress on your creative work, whatever it is. So come on in, and then you get to see our fun new platform and some of the exciting functionality. It's going to make it
Yeah,
even better for us to deliver amazingness to you.
absolutely. And not only that, it has an app too. So if you've been like, hey, I really wish that I could get like a mobile experience for Pi, this is kind of a way to do that. It's a way to test. And so we are going to start moving more of our educational materials over there, so that you can experience it. Because honestly, it's quite a seamless experience. So, or not seamless, but like it is less clunky. Like when we did our survey about the concern, honestly, the biggest concern that came out of y'all was the fact like usability of our platform, and the difficulties that you had in using various aspects. So the good news is we may have a solution for you. We're testing it. We'd love some feedback. So yeah, join the novel contest. We'll probably have some other options for you to kind of get involved in the community before like a full educational launch. But yeah, we'll let you know. We'll let you know how it goes. Um, yeah. Anyways, the so that's kind of been the focus. The other piece, the big piece, of course, for us for 2025, like 2024 was quite a challenging year for Pi. We had a change in leadership. We had some various issues come up and everything like that, some refocusing. And so for next year, honestly, we are probably going to focus on getting back to basics. It's very much going to be community led, community driven. And we'll just roll out a lot of stuff around that. And so I'm really kind of looking forward to getting more information out of all of you. Today, I keep like pointing to you in the wrong place. It's so much easier when I'm in my own office. I know which way to point.
Well, maybe I've switched sides since
Yeah,
before. I don't know.
that's a good question. Am I always on this side? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Um, Anyways, so even today we have been talking a lot about member value. We've been talking about like how do we make sure that you are getting your communicated value? How are you making sure that this is actually adding value to you? And again, a lot of it comes back to like just talking to you. So definitely we want to do a lot more of that. We want to like sit back and engage with you. So yeah, we'll be offering some options for you to kind of get in touch with us or get in touch with the PD. There may be options for you to get involved in various committees. We're still teasing that out. All right. Look, Rochelle's like, didn't we just say that we're not going to say anything in this session that we can't deliver on? So
So don't hold Ben to these things because he's really excited about them, but we're
yeah,
probably going to deliver them. So
but we're probably going to deliver them. Yeah. All right. And for you, Rochelle, are you feeling okay with the amount of stuff that we are slowly adding to your plate of things that you need to do?
I am. I've been really assessing how 2024 has been going for me, and I think like many people, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you've probably seen me talking about this a lot. I have been absolutely fried. And almost everybody I talk to is also absolutely fried, from proposal professionals to my clients and their clients.
Mm,
Um, and so, something I'm really looking at for 2025 is managing that burnout. And the way I want to do it is by connection. And so, all of these community initiatives and building up the connection within Pi kind of perfectly aligns with what I think I need to
mhm,
feel like a human being again. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for these things that I think are going to fill my cup as opposed to just completely draining me. I didn't get to do quite as much pie stuff this year because of Armor Consulting just being an absolute absolute drain.
mhm.
Not in a bad way, it pays the bills, but
For
very,
sure.
very much looking forward to connection. We did pilot some programs this year that I think we'll get to refine and roll out again in a better form next year that are going to be super connective. The ideas that Ben and I have been bouncing off the past couple of days, like very, very excited for them, to the point where like I just want to get started, even though I know we still have more planning to do. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's everything I can do to not like race off right now and just start doing the things, like we said we weren't going to do.
Like we weren't saying. Remember, y'all have this saying in the States, right? Like measure twice, cut once. Isn't that the idea? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll cut it later. Like, we'll probably just have to cut it twice. Let's just
No,
get it
not this
out
time.
there.
No, no, we're gonna be credible this year. Yeah. So, anyways, so we do have some stuff. We're meeting with the Baker's dozen tomorrow. We have presented with them with a series of projects, and they asked them to prioritize it. The Baker's dozen themselves had a number of projects that they're interested in. In April, one of them might be launching. So, anyways, we'll let you know as that comes out. We're going to try to communicate. But our goal, honestly, coming out of this meeting is actually to have a larger annual calendar for you. So that's kind of what we're trying to do. Like I leave on Monday, so Veterans Day or Remembrance Day, depending on which country you're in. Um, Anyways, and by then we're hoping that we will have enough information to populate, so y'all can plan out your year and your interactions with Pi over the course of that year. So yeah. Anyways,
Also, one of those initiatives might actually roll out in January. Will actually roll out in January. Sorry. So, one of those BD projects. April's a long way away, and I'm an impatient person.
I
So,
know, I know.
I just wanted to say we've already promised this, so it will happen in
Oh,
January. We're
okay.
not going to say what it is, but we've already promised our BD member that they can jump on it in
I feel
January.
like I feel like this whole session is a tease. Like this Thursday temperature check is entirely a tease. Um, but anyways, I will also be in the market for new guest people that we want on the temp check. And honestly, so just think about that. If you are interested, or you have something that you want to say, please let us know. We'd like to intersperse some expertise into various sessions, so you're not just listening to Rachelle and I, as lovely as we are. There's a lot more out there in this space. Really, really interesting people. Yeah, and so we will be highlighting that. So if you are interested, yeah, step up, put your name in the jar, and we'll meet with you. We'll talk you through what you want to talk about. And honestly, it's not that hard. Uh, you really only have to like, yeah. Anyways, it's not that hard. If you have passion about something and you can speak pretty well on it, like 10 to 15 minutes, you're a perfect fit for our organization. So it is so cold in this house. I just want to tell you, New Mexico people,
I'm sorry. I'm
I'm jo-
sorry. Let me
I'm
turn it
joking.
up like right now.
I'm wearing my Michigan hoodie. One to fit in with the Americans, and two because it keeps me very warm. Well done, Michigan. Um,
It works. It worked.
the heat just came on.
Yeah, I just turned the heat on. You're welcome.
Service.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ben.
Nope. Service. All right. Anyways, so it's 12:21. I'm going to finish off early, but I'm going to leave you with the Tales from the Crypt or from Tales from the Pitch for you. Right. Not the crypt. Halloween is over. Hope y'all had a good time in Halloween. Actually, I would love like proposal Halloween garb. Like what would I come dressed as? Like, frantic SME, like
Do you proposal team post the proposal professional like Halloween costumes every year? And I think Beth Fissette, of course, our resident queen of Halloween horror, Halloween
yeah, yeah.
proposal horror, also posted a couple of like, if you're a proposal professional, you might consider dressing as, and they're great.
Oh no, I totally
Did
missed
you
those.
miss them?
This is why I need
Oh,
to spend more time on LinkedIn.
you really do.
Yeah, because all I can think of is like some sort of like executive, like some VP, or president or something like that, like going over your proposal with a fine-tooth comb or something like that. And so they have like the magnifying glass and like a big whiteout pen or a marker or something like that, like a red marker, and like
I'm
just
thinking like a
everything.
Siegel review just came through, so you've just got like a bird dropped trench coat or something. There's so many, but proposal team and Beth do a great job of this.
Okay.
So look out for that next year.
Fair enough. All right. So this proposal, Tales from the Pitch, is brought to you by Proposal Portals. We love them so much. Um, for those of you who are familiar, and it was funny too. I was talking to Rochelle, and I'm like, "Hey, which proposal portals do you use?" And she goes, all the usual ones." And then we started naming them, and of course, we have no overlap. And it's just the realization that there's this vast ecosphere of like different proposal portals, and like how confusing they can get. So this one is for an Eastern European bid, and it is it's ostensibly falls within the EU. And this is a bid that I did last year, of all places, and it had what we call a reverse auction. And so the thought process behind this is you have to qualify to enter the auction. And so you need to meet like a minimal technical requirement and a minimal like delivery requirement. And they have created a portal where they can sort you. So it's not apples to oranges, it's all apples to apples to apples. And so they are like trying to like filter you down to make sure that like every bidder is exactly the same, right? So that when they go in and present a price, that it's very clear, like, hey, we can just look at the price during the bidding process, and we don't have to like go back and like search through pages and pages of their reports to see like, well, are there qualifiers on this pricing that went into the bid portal or into the auction and stuff like that. So that's the idea behind this, right? It is to make it so that all of our deliverables are the same-ish, so that when we present a price, they can just compare price to price without having to think about like who we are as a buyer. Very dehuman, or as a vendor. Very dehumanizing process. Uh, but buyer philosophy aside, um, this portal is not SAP Ariba, it's not Merck's, it's not Bonfire or anything like that. It appears to be custom made to Eastern Europe. And the idea behind it is it has tabs, very much like an Excel spreadsheet, right? And there's tab A, tab B, tab C, tab D. And you can download the whole thing into like a fillable Excel form and then upload it again, right? Very easy, very convenient. And I have to say, unlike Ariba or even GEP or possibly even Power Advocate, that functionality actually worked. Like you downloaded an Excel file, you filled it out, you uploaded, and it didn't give you like all these error messages like you filled out this section incorrectly or anything like that. It worked. Data went back in, right? Fabulous, fabulous process. So, but what we were told is you would fill out A, B, C, D, and then there would be a qualifying tab on the next page that was really just like administrative. And you would click through and then you would submit the bid, right? Like, so you would do A, B, C, D, E, or A, B, C, D, and tab E would appear. And that would be kind of like, and we're done, right? And so, because they don't expose E until you finished A, B, C, D and are ready to submit. So that's what we did. And this is probably an error on my part. I looked at the project and I'm like, okay, like I need to, because it's like a European bid and we're a Canadian company kind of responding to it, like let's go a day in advance that we're ready. And like a day in advance that we're actually doing the submission, which means we need to be ready a day in advance of that. And then like I worked back and built my bid calendar, right? And I followed that to letter. We did get done in time. Um, and so I started submitting at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Canada for a bid that was kind of due like 6 in the morning the next day in Canada, kind of thing. Anyways, and so we upload everything, and it's like, yep, tab E appears, and yes, sure enough, it is actually administrative stuff. It's like, do you guarantee that the information contained is correct and everything like that? And you're like, yeah, let's go, right? And then the thing is, the button at the bottom though didn't say submit; it said next. And so I click on it, and suddenly there's a tab F. And this tab has technical questions on it. And they aren't technical questions that we answered in the previous tabs. I know enough about the customer that I kind of start mucking through it by myself without validation. But I'm like, hey, like I might need an SME to like respond to me here. It's now, you know, 4. So people are getting ready to go home, right? And I just grab one and I'm like, hey, listen, can you just sit down with me for like 30 minutes while we go through this tab? There's like 20 questions here. Some of them are long narrative. I'll just quickly whip it out, or you'll give me bullet points and then you can go home. And he's like, sure. I've earned credit with this customer, right? I try to treat this is why you treat your SMEs really, really nicely. It's because you can do these things when they're like on their way out the door, jacket on their thing. Anyways, so we sit down and we start processing tab F. And sure enough, the bottom of tab F, it doesn't say submit, it says next. And so he's sitting there waiting with me, and I click next, and sure enough, another tab appears. Not a word of a lie. We did not finish that bid until 9 o'clock at night. And I ended up calling not one, not two, but 4 SMEs, one of which, arriving later, actually brought dinner for everyone else because we were there that late. And we got to tab M. M! It showed us A, B, C, D. And then we got to M before we finally got a submit button. And I was livid. I was so apologetic to like these SMEs that I dragged out of their Friday evening to come hang out with me. Right. And like just a nightmare. So anyways, there you have it. That was my experience with an EU portal. If you want to know what portal it was, I will post it if you ask me. But I won't throw them under the bus in case someone has a good relationship with them. Anyways, hope you're all having a fantastic November 7th. Hope you're having a great Thursday. Hope that you are going into this weekend with a little bit of grace and love for yourself and a lot of care and concern. Um, Anyways, anything else, Rochelle, that I'm missing?
No, no, I'm wondering how many people did not get through tab M in time to actually submit that bid. That's giving me a lot of anxiety. But other than that, I have no other thoughts.
It's a really good question. I
That's
know
not true.
we
I
didn't
have
win
lots
that
of
bid.
thoughts.
Yeah, so someone must have because we didn't win. Someone else did. But yeah, curious. All right, y'all take care. Have a great weekend, and thanks so much for showing up for today's temp check. Bye.
Bye, friends.